Hey everyone, it's Clark. I was going to do a Transition 3 part of my blog, and this is about being outed, uh, coming out not via me. Um, Perfect example. Not but a few weeks ago, my upstairs neighbors, they're my age. One, the husband is 23 and his wife is my age 20. And I like to sleep in, and I live on the bottom floor, they live on the top floor. And when I was sleeping one day, they were knocking on my window, like rapping on my window. I'm like, pull the covers over my head. And they just walk into my apartment. And they come into my room, and they're just talking to me or whatever, and Grace points at my GED, or my Maryland State Diploma, and goes, "Oh, I have one of those. This looks like mine." And Josh goes up and reads it, and he said, "How do you pronounce that?" I'm like, "Well, about that." He was like, "You have a lot of trans friends, don't you?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And he was like, "You're trans, aren't you?" I'm like, "Yeah." And there's really no good time to tell somebody that, because, I mean, we were back like a month ago, we were in the pool and he was like being all manly and wrestling with me, and I had my binder under my wetsuit top. So that was that, and I was wearing board shorts. And he would always like grab me under the legs, and I'd be like thrashing and shit and putting him in a headlock just so he wouldn't find out. And I'm like, I was gonna tell them, but it's just, there's never a good time to do so. Uh, so that's one way I was outed, without me being able to sit down with the person, being like, "Look, here's the situation. I'm not exactly who you thought I was." Uh, but when I first started coming out, I'm not coming out, first told the people I thought I was like the closest with, I would always say, "This is not your business to tell people. This is my business." And they're like, "Oh yeah, okay, blah 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 blah." And it turned out a lot of my friends would go and tell people before I even met these people. And I would end up meeting them eventually, and they would slip up and call me she. And I'm like, when I got them alone, I'd be like, "Look, I carry myself well. Um, yeah, I might not look or sound like a 20-year-old male, but still, there would be no reason if I introduce myself as Clark and people are calling me he, there'd be no reason for somebody to slip up and call me she, unless they knew previously." There was this incident where a friend of mine introduced me to a really nice guy who I'm still friends with, and uh, he accidentally called me she. And when she got out of the car, and I asked this guy, I'm like, "Look, how did you know that?" He was like, "She told me." And I had to talk to my friend and be like, "Look, that really hurts, because I make it a point to tell people that this is not your business to share. This is my information." And oh yeah, they're gonna figure it out eventually, but it's better if they figure it out from me. And my my piece of advice towards that is, if you know the person isn't going to be completely accepting of it, there's either two choices. You tell them off the bat, And if they don't accept it, they're obviously not worth your time, or you kind of ease into it. There's many ways to do that. See, I have this tattoo on my neck for Aiden, and like when Josh asked me who Aiden was, because he knew that I was pansexual via my Facebook, and he said, "Oh, was he like a boyfriend of yours or something?" I said, "No, he was like a brother to me." And so he said that, well, when he found out, there was like, oh, he was like putting two and two together. But it was reassuring that they said to me, no matter what, you're still a good friend, and we think of you as you think of yourself. So it's hard. It really is. And I mean, I've been living like this for almost 5 years openly, and I haven't started testosterone. So I mean, I definitely, when I tell people I'm 20, they don't believe me. It's really hard if you're in my situation. Not everybody is lucky as a lot of the other people you see on YouTube. It's not. Oh, you know, I've been out for a year or two. I'm getting to start testosterone. It's all about the money, really, when it comes down to it. Um, but don't let that discourage you. Don't let that get you down. Just be who you are, and hopefully everybody will back you up. And like I said before, if they don't, they're really not worth your time. So that was my bit on self, no, how to deal with people outing you, and I hope it helps somebody. If you have more questions for me, put them in my inbox, put them in the comments, and I will address them in any video. So I'll see you guys later.